Darren. I wish I could be there in San Diego at Shilty right now, but I'm over here at the GM meeting, so I can't wait to get back to San Diego and give him another hug and chest bump and pound for I was super excited to make this announcement. So obviously announcing a 2-year extension through the 27 season. I mean, for me with Mike. Honestly, like dating back about 10 years ago, he was always a guy and that was on our radar as a real up and comer in the game, somebody that really had a tremendous reputation as a winner, a teacher of the game. Obviously, did great things in St. Louis. And a couple of years ago, we had a conversation about him being in this position. And even though he wasn't quite ready at that point in time to kind of take the lead chair. He was in the organization for 2 years, just jack of all trades, being around the big league club, and most importantly, getting to know our players, our staff, and our system. This year seeing him in the major league chair as the manager, obviously a tremendous year for the big league team, a very good year for the organization. And just a really strong year for Mike in that chair as a manager. It was clear that he's somebody that I want to partner with for a long time. And that's what this extension is a sign of. Just a job really well done, production. He took a talented group and got them together really from day one. Brought a competitive spirit to our team. Brought a lot of joy, energy, and happiness to the city of San Diego, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of it with him here this year. Again, like he doesn't do it all himself. He assembled a really talented staff with him, and I love the conversations this year. Sometimes some good fights, some good hugs after those fights. But we had just like the team was together, the coaching staff was together from day one. I think that's a testament to Mike and his leadership style. And ultimately, like from our standpoint, it was, getting to the playoffs. It's the third time in 5 years we've been there. I think second most wins in team history. But, now, and I know the last couple of weeks with Mike, it's all been about getting better. I mean, he's already turned the page on the 24 season. We're going to take our lessons as a group, from what we saw in 24, but now it's all about, getting to 25, taking another couple more steps as an organization and going to win a world championship in San Diego. And, from my standpoint, you need somebody in that chair that you feel like is a partner. And this was a top priority for us going into the offseason was getting Mike done, and super glad to be here today to announce the extension with Mike Shildt.
Thanks, AJ. We'll go ahead and pass it to you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks a lot, AJ. Wow, just extremely blessed, grateful, appreciative of the confidence that ownership and AJ has shown, and not only me being in the organization now going on 4 years, but getting the opportunity last year to manage the club, and now, of course, this year to now get the extension and like the word that AJ used, the partnering word with AJ in the front office. My respect for AJ is only increased, and my admiration for how he works and how he goes about his operations and how he assembles not only our big league club, but has put this organization a very, very good footing over the last several years has been very impressive. How he didn't get the Executive of the Year award, I still am miffed. And that's with all due respect to the people that did win it. But he's really a guy that I've enjoyed getting to know. And like he said, it's not always smooth sailing, but we know we're working off the same script. We have the same vision, and that's to win a world championship here in San Diego and be a first-class organization in the industry. And I'm looking forward to working with AJ moving forward on continuing what has already been a start of the best era in Padre baseball. He alluded to it. His club's been in the organization. This organization's been in the playoffs 2022, now 24. I know we're set up for success moving forward, and I expect to work closely with him to the next several years to continue to solidify this being a very impressive run in Padre history, baseball history, both on and off the field. A couple of things I also want to share, and I'll open it up. But AJ alluded to it as well. Like the staff, first class all the way, outstanding group, A+ across the board. and also just high quality people. It's a privilege to work with them. Clearly our field staff, but as the game grows and we have more people that interact and help in making sure our players, who I'll get to in a minute, get the most out of their abilities, and we do that together. There's, between our field staff, the strength and conditioning, the medical group, our research and development team, our travel with TJ, all our clubhouse guys, security, the families that help sacrifice for this, and of course our player development department. It's just a group that we're very much together, and it's a privilege to work with them as well. And last couple of things is I make sure where it starts for me and always will be is our players. We've got a very, very strong core group that the organization has obviously wrapped up, and we feel really good about. But it's an absolute privilege and an honor to be their manager, and I'm beyond excited to continue to that for the next 3 years. I got a chance to give a big hug to Toddy and Joe moments ago, and we're all excited to continue to move this together. But it's a very fun group, high character group, and I can tell you this is a group that feels good about what we just accomplished. We covered a lot of ground, but is very much hungry for more and is excited for more. So I love our players, and I'm looking forward to working with them together. And then the last thing is the fans. I mean, wow, what a group, what a passionate fan base, that loves the game, and is, it's exciting to me that not only we have the 46,000 plus or 47, whatever the number is, but also the Friar faithful that when we go on the road, man, we're seeing a lot of Padres gear everywhere we go, regardless of city. And so excited about that. And, listen, you can expect the same entertaining style of play. I love their players play with enthusiasm, passion, and joy. You can expect to see more of that, but you're also going to continue to see good fundamental, solid funnel, fun to watch, but winning baseball. And excited to be on the journey together. I'm more of an action versus words guy, so we'll just continue to move the mission forward for the fan base, and know we're and I are going to do everything possible to make sure that continues to happen. And then lastly, to make sure that we're looking towards satisfying Peter Seiler's vision of you can see it behind me, a parade one day will be in San Diego. And that's what this is all about. So again, thanks for listening. I'm very grateful, and welcome to answer any questions that you may have.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. We'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start with AJ Cassava.
Mike, congratulations. You answered a couple of my questions already, but I guess I just wanted to ask about the discussions and kind of how they came about and how they went down over the last few weeks, and maybe like what vision was laid out for those 3 years coming between you and the organization for how this thing will build on what 2024 was. Yeah,
thanks, AJ. We got done with the season, and I know everybody in the organization was a little bit of, in a little bit of a rightful stupor about, how it ended. And then you look up and realize that, a lot of good things took place, and started the process working towards next year, as AJ mentioned. And, AJ and ownership came to me about making sure that I felt valued and appreciated, and we were going to do this together moving forward for a longer period of time that was secured. And, obviously I was very, very happy about that. Relative to your question about what that vision looks like, I'm sure AJ can chime in as well. But, it's we're going to start meetings, tomorrow with our pitching group, Thursday, Friday with our big league staff and player development and AAA group, to talk about what we just got through experiencing, what we want to capture from it, and then how we're going to move it forward individually and collectively with our pitching. We'll do our defense and base running, infield, outfield, base running, and catching over that Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll do our hitting group on Monday and Tuesday. So the vision is really just a continual process of what we've been able to do and some of the process that we've been able to put in place. The one thing that I was able to share with the staff right after the last game we played, and I said, the good news is we covered a lot of ground, and we've got a lot of process that we feel good about. We partner with our players, most importantly, that they're a part of the process and how we operate and how we compete and how we win. But the really good news is that we're just getting started. Those processes still have a lot more depth to them. There's a lot more tentacles for them. So, and again, the last wrap up point is the partnership with the players. I've been able to have lunch or dinner with a lot of the players are still in town. Like I said, this group's still hungry, but also the players and the staff, we all recognize together that there's a lot more meat on the bone, and we're about to go chewing on it.
We'll go to Kevin Acey.
Hey, Mike. What has you optimistic? Because you are generally optimistic, but what are the top tenets of why you're optimistic? You mentioned right after the NLDS about expecting the playoffs these next few years, and now that you're going to be the manager, it looks like. What has you so optimistic?
I'm optimistic that we have an organization that, is starting at the top with ownership, AJ. We've got a lot of confidence in that group. I don't think about our roster. I didn't think about it last year, and getting to know AJ. I mean, he allows me to chime in and share, my thoughts, and our staff gets to share their thoughts. But, I'm confident that, he'll continue to do a great job of giving us the resources we need to compete. So it really starts there. And then kind of what I've just got through speaking about, I'm really tickled about the staff. AJ will talk about our staff. I'm sure it'll come up at some point, but I'm looking forward to the staff staying together, being together, growing together, taking the next steps. So that continuity between the staff and the players on the field, we've established a good base for that. We're only going to deepen it. And, based on, the commitment I feel like we're going to get from the ownership and the job that AJ will do. And then coupled with, what we're doing on the field with our players and our staff, it's only going to improve and allow that continuity to allow us to take the next steps.
How important was this to you, to not go into next year and just have it be 1 year? And also, if you could just speak to, you came in talking about alignment. If you could just elaborate on your relationship with AJ.
Yeah, I'll start there. I mean, I alluded to it. Our relationship for me is as important as any other relationship, or at least at the top of the food chain in this organization's success. And we do it. We talk daily. We spend a lot of time. We both have a shared passion for this game and a strong desire for competitive greatness. And that's what fuels our relationship. And we're able to have just honest dialogues that, we don't agree. And sometimes it takes us a day or two to get to a mutual disagreement. But for the most part, a high percentage that we end up being completely aligned on, and we respect each other enough to move on and support the other person's vision for what this needs to look like. And that give and take is really, really important. So, that alignment starts with there, but then it goes down to the togetherness of the staff and the players. Without togetherness with the group, I know that a big part of our success on the field this year, which the players deserve the credit for, is the ability for our leadership of our team. I hesitate to mention all the players because I don't want to leave anybody out, but clearly you've got the core group of Manny and Toddy and Bogey and Crony and Joe and you. This group that's been signed for a long term, that group's bought into it. And then you add the Rises to the mix and the Michael Kings to the mix, and the guys that are adding on that are going to take that next piece of the mantle. Obviously Jackson being a big part of that, and him doing his part this year, and being a bigger part and what that looks like moving forward. So that vertical alignment that everybody's working together is really the key to this thing.
We'll go to Dennis Lynn.
Hey, Mike, congratulations. I know this might be a question for AJ as well, but since you brought it up, what is the status of your coaching staff, and how important was it for you going into these talks to try to bring back as many of them as possible?
Thanks, Dennis. I'll defer to AJ. I will just simply say this is, it was really important to me before we got into it with my contract situation and my future with this organization, which again, I'm grateful for. But as AJ can attest this, before that started, I wanted to make sure our staff was taken care of, and it's a big staff, and there's a lot of conversations, but the importance of the staff being together was really vital for me to be able to lock into this extension. But I'll let AJ take it from there.
Yeah, I think Dennis, like Mike mentioned, I mean, I think since the end of the season, it's really like parallel paths for our baseball ops group. When one path is obviously getting Mike done, and then Mike and myself, it's almost been every day, honestly, just sitting down, and it's a review mainly of our staff. And I've been around managers that don't really want to be a part of that at times. Like to me, I think it's super healthy when you have general manager sit down and just like honestly can walk through, hey, like at the end of the day, the things that our staff brought to the table. I think both of us over the course of a couple of days, we were pretty, it was pretty easy to be on the same page in terms of bringing this group back, understanding here's the areas that we can grow in, and now being in the process of getting that group under contract. So I think from our standpoint, we'll have more to say over the course of the next few days and the next week or so. But again, from Mike and my standpoint, we think we have a super talented group, and we've been having different conversations with everybody in that staff, and I think it's really about bringing that group back and building on the success from this year and having that continuity. That was important to Mike from day one and myself, and that's really what the last couple of weeks have been about. And we'll be able to announce that when we get the full staff under contract the next week or so.
At the moment, do you expect all of them to be back? And can you speak specifically to Ruben Yebla and where you are with him since his contract expired?
Yeah, no, I know, from Ruben's standpoint, again, he's done a great job with the pitching staff. He's been here 3 years now. Again, a lot of common ground from our organization, Mike, myself, Ruben. And again, I think it's clear he wants to be here. He knows we want him to be here. And, again, when we announce the staff, I think you'll see like we're going to reward the people that have performed. Ruben's been a big performer, and we're looking forward for him being a big part of the Padre organization for a long time. So.
Go to Darnay Tripp.
One for AJ and one for Mike. AJ, we'll start with you. Has there been any aspect of your relationship with Mike, your connection with Mike, that's made this feel different than managers you've worked with in the past, that gives you the confidence that this will be the long-term partnership that you kind of referenced off the top?
Mike's got a lot of skills. I think, the biggest, he's just super passionate and knowledgeable, about, just about winning baseball and what that looks like. And, again, like everybody's got their style, whether it's, executives, whether it's coaches, manager. I think the thing that, there's a lot of things that we have common ground with. I think just that passion to win, and I mean, this is Mike's life. Like this is from day one. It wasn't, hey, see you in January, and get ready for spring training, have a couple meetings. I mean, it was like the minute the season over, and like Mike said, you never want the year to end, and you probably need some time away. But pretty quickly, Mike's geared up to like, how do we go get better? And I think we both share that trait in terms of just constantly looking to improve, that continual improvement gene. It's just, again, when you have people that think that way, it makes the relationship a lot easier. And, that's been a big trait for Mike and myself, and a big part of our relationship here the last couple of years.
And Mike, congrats to you on the extension. You mentioned when you were hired, just the appreciation for having a second chance, and that doesn't always happen. Is there any sense of satisfaction? Obviously, you haven't reached the ultimate goal, but just having this get out to the positive start the way that it has.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, I don't really make it too much about me. My job is to serve and take care of the group, the organization, and the players, and do my part to partner with the staff. But yeah, there's been probably hit me a little bit later because I've really been in mode about planning for the meetings we got coming up with our staff. But yeah, I'll have a moment of pause to appreciate the opportunity, which I've done that consistently. So, but more, specific to your question, like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to take a step back at some point today and just be like, wow, that's very grateful, very, very blessed to have the opportunity and to get more of it and to do something I love to do. So, yeah, it's personally gratifying.
We'll go to Emor Villa.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Mike. Thanks for your time. I just want to ask, what does it mean for you, for the club, to have had the second best season in Padres history? And for sure, you want to go for a better season. And do you expect you can have a better season like your first one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we show up to win every day for a common goal to be the last team standing. I do think it's also important that we recognize the consistency that is putting together a successful season. The one thing that I'm grateful of this organization, the city, this fan base, our team has the eye on the prize of winning a World Series, but I also think it's really important that we appreciate and dedicate ourselves to that continual day in, day out greatness that is a 6-month, 162 game regular season. And, that's a sign of consistent success and dedication. And it's a reflection of a lot of good things that organizations are doing to be able to do that over the course of a year. And expect to do exactly what we did this year or better in the regards of our division. And, the win total takes care of itself.
And also about Coach Niebla, have you talked with him already for the next season?
I've talked to Ruben a lot, and again, AJ's responsible for finalizing that with Ruben, and he's already addressed that. But yeah, I talked to Ruben quite a bit, and look forward to sitting there and being a part of the meetings that he'll take a large part in leading over the next 2 days to move our pitchers and our pitching philosophy forward into success for many years to come.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We'll go to Frank Jefferson.
Hey, Mike, congratulations. You kind of touched on this earlier. Many of the players they talked about, during this season, that it feels like this team has been a family. And I know you were the driving force behind that mentality. How do you plan, to build off that, now having this contract extension? Yeah,
just keep moving forward. We continue to do it together. I use the word partner a lot. I have such a high admiration for major league players and what they are able to accomplish and their IQs, and being able to work with them and talk with them and make sure that look, I got a job to do, staff's got a job to do. We set the structure and some of the parameters, but we do it with the group. And when you do that, it just creates that familiar atmosphere where everybody feels like they enjoy coming to the ballpark. They're part of it. It's part of a family. Also, appreciation for the players and their families, their wives, girlfriends, the sacrifice they make to this, because they're a big part of this organization. And I love the way the Padres take care of the families here. It's really well done. Sarah Wiggins does a really good job with their families. But that's a big part of it too, is the players' families feeling included and involved. And we have that, and we're just only going to continue to make it even better.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Go to Higuchi.
The manager, let me ask you about Yu Darvish and Yuki Matsui. What do you want them to do for the team next season, respectively?
Is that for me or AJ?
Yeah, Mr. Manager.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Mike.
Yeah, take Darvish first. Look, he's great for us, right? When he playoffs, he threw the ball great. Had a stretch of, I think it was 26 consecutive scoreless innings. Dealt with some things on a personal level and came through on the good side of it. He's clearly a cornerstone of what we do and how we do it. A lot of admiration and respect for you. It's a big part of how we operate. So, just making sure that, we keep you healthy and healthy you Darvish, if we can get it for 32, 33 starts and beyond in the postseason next year, that would speak very well to the success of the Padres team. Yuki, I thought had a good year, transition year. It's not easy, whether it's the culture, whether it's the competition, even the baseballs are different. And I thought he really, really improved over the course of the season, got his feet under him, and I expect him to get even more comfortable and be a big part of our club next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to AJ Cassaville.
Mike, you talked a lot about the continuity on the staff and then the core of players that you have in place, but there are a couple free agents. I'm just wondering kind of I know it's not your purview necessarily, but your outlook on guys like Profar and Kim, who obviously meant a lot, and Higashioka that meant a lot to the team last season, and whether you would like them back in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I defer to AJ on that. I mean, there's a business side to it. There's a lot of pieces and that, are part of that puzzle. I mean, I loved all three of those guys. I mean, they did a phenomenal job for us. Very grateful for them. They're one of the reasons that I'm getting this extension. So I'm thankful to them, as like I said, to all the players, but I'll defer to AJ on any of the, particulars on that.
So then my next question for AJ, obviously, Profar and Kim were not extended qualifying offers. Can you kind of go into that decision-making process and then just kind of your outlook on their off seasons and whether you'd like to bring them back?
Yeah, no, they're Profar and Kim, they've been a big part of this thing. Jerkson at different points in time in the last few years, and obviously he had the great year this year. So, he's somebody we're definitely interested in talking to, and he's a real part of what we're doing. And I've already extended out and just started those conversations, but again, he's somebody that he's earned the right to be a free agent. So we'll kind of see where that takes us. Same thing with Ha-Sung. I think Ha-Sung, I think, from his standpoint, the injury, as well, that, he'll come back from that, but that's all part of the calculus. And, kind of that's what this week is for here and at the GM meetings. We've been preparing for this, and this is kind of the start of the off season. So, ultimately decided not to put the qualifying offer. That's a $20+ million number on a 1-year deal. Just feel like, that wasn't quite the direction we wanted to go to on a 1-year situation. But that doesn't close the door on either player. I think, now we get into the free agent period, and we're spending the week trying to see what our options are, what things look like, getting a lot of information, from a roster standpoint, and Jerkson and Ha-Sung are going to be two guys that are going to be part of our conversations all off season.